This is Bia, Becoming in Action, a space to explore the lifelong journey of growth as leaders, as professionals, and as human beings. Through honest conversations and lived experience, we evolve with courage and intention. Here's your host, Sandy Abear.
Hello, and welcome back to the podcast. Before we begin, I want to offer a content note for this conversation. In this episode, we talk about experiences that may be difficult for some listeners, including childhood neglect, racism, sexual assault, self-harm, suicide attempts, and serious illness. Please take care of yourself while listening. You're always welcome to pause, skip this episode, or come back to it when you feel ready. Today's conversation is one that feels deeply personal. It is about love that stretches across continents, across generations, across loss, across unexpected turns. It still finds a way to root itself and grow. I'm sitting down with Katy, who many of you do not know yet, but by the end of this conversation, you will feel like you do. Katy is a new mom to 7-month-old Julius, and I want you to picture this for a moment. A baby named after both his great-grandfather, Julius, and Katy's adopted mom, Julia. There's something so meaningful in that, a name that holds both history and connection, past and present, loss and love. Katy's story is layered. She was adopted from Kazakhstan as a baby. She lost her adopted mom, Julia, at the age of 7, and was then raised by Julia's brother and his wife. They are both therapists who stepped in and became her mom and dad. They created a new kind of foundation for her. She grew up in a family that understands people deeply, and you can feel that in who she is today. She graduated from Bowling Green State University in May of 2024 and is now home with Julius, raising him with so much intention, so much presence, and what I can only describe as a quiet confidence that feels far beyond her years. I have spent time with Katy in the kitchen, hers and mine. It helped me fill my time productively when I first lost my job. We cook, we talk, and every single time I walk away feeling like I learned something. There is an ease about her, a groundedness, and also this beautiful openness to community. She truly embodies the idea that it takes a village, and she lets that village love her son. And now her family is walking through something incredibly hard. Her mom has been diagnosed with an aggressive form of breast cancer. It is the kind that does not have a clear finish line, only ongoing treatment and the reality of learning to live alongside it. In the middle of all of that, Katy and her sister Sarah are choosing action. They are participating in the Susan G. Komen 3-day walk, walking 60 miles in November to raise money, to raise awareness, and to honor their mom. This conversation is about that love. It's about who her mom is and what she means to her, and even in the hardest moments, there is still connection, purpose, and joy. Katy, I am so grateful for you to be here today.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I'm so excited for people to hear your story. You have such a unique and layered story. Can you share a little about your journey growing up?
Yeah, I was adopted at 9 months old by my mom, Julia. She was a single mother and I was an only child. But my mom was like this fantastic organizer. She was so good at so many things. She was the birthday mom. She did the scrapbooking. She created this entire website for my whole family to be able to see what was going on with me and my adoption. So I have this entire scrapbook of all of things that she did. I guess I don't know if it was like a website or if it was an email, but I believe it was a website. It detailed everything that I was doing. It had pictures of everything. I hadn't really been outside. I was really, really malnourished. My dad always talks about it now. He's like, we were scared that you were going to have severe problems. I was 9 months old and I couldn't hold up my head. I couldn't roll over. I couldn't sit up. I couldn't do anything. And so it was a not great situation, but I think that they had so many babies there.
Do you know how she decided to adopt?
Not really. I think that I've definitely been told the story, but I think over the years I've forgotten. I know that she just wanted to have kids when she was getting older. She was single. She wasn't planning on getting married at that point to anybody. So I think she was just like, I'm going to adopt. But she was a severe alcoholic. That still kind of leaves problems today, like feeling of like abandonment. But I didn't really know her. I mean, she was a genius, right? She was so smart. So she was working.
What did she do?
She worked in business, but I don't exactly know what she did. Something with computers, something with business. She worked for Wendy's for a while. She used to make the Frosties with the original Frosty recipe because she worked at Wendy's. That's like what my dad always says. She was just very, very smart. She was working a lot. I didn't really see her. And she was drinking a lot, so I didn't really see her. I was kind of allowed to do whatever I wanted. And I would run around.
Were there other adults around helping to provide support?
Yeah, I lived with my grandma and my mom. And I remember two very significant boyfriends that she had that like kind of came in and out. One of them had 2 kids. They were around for a little bit. And then another one came kind of at the end and he had a kid. They ended up getting engaged. But then she passed away before they ever got married. But it was mainly my grandma. She kind of pushed out my Aunt Cheryl and Uncle Andy because she was worried. I think that they had just had some conversations with her about her drinking and about what was going on. And she didn't want them to be around. But before that had happened, I was with my aunt and my uncle. My aunt, I think, watched me. Like most of growing up, she would pick up the 3 of us from school or like the 3 of us from daycare. I would often ride home on the bus with them and hang out with them. And then other than that, adults around were my like neighborhood adults. They would all watch out for me, and I never realized how much they watched out for me actually until a couple of years ago. And I was like, wow, they were really like making sure that I was getting home. They were standing on their porches or walking me home or taking me in if my mom would lock the door and forget that I was there or I was supposed to come home. They would let me stay the night, and they would call and they would call and they would call. If nobody answered, they would just let me stay the night. They were very nice.
Wow, that's so great. They showed up for you.
Yeah.
So then when your mom did pass, how did the decision get made that you weren't going to stay with your grandmother, but that you were going to go with Andy and Cheryl?
My mom asked my Aunt Cheryl to take me, like when she was creating a will, I think, well before she was sick. She just went to my aunt and said, if anything happens to me, will you take her? My grandma was meant to be a grandma. She wasn't meant to be a mom again, and I don't think she wanted to be a mom again.
Right.
So she wanted to be a grandma. And I was really, really upset by that. And that's where a lot of our fights would happen, where it was like, I want to go live with grandma. I don't understand why you guys won't let me live with grandma.
Yeah, because it probably felt most comfortable because it was closest to what you had been doing.
Right. On the one hand, she'd let me do whatever I wanted, and I wanted that. But on the other hand, she was my favorite person, and she was just everybody's grandma. Like she's my grandma.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be with her. I just wanted to be with her. Well, when she passed away, I moved in with my Aunt Cheryl, my Uncle Andy, and my 2 cousins, Sarah and Lydia. And I was definitely the black sheep of the family. I was very extroverted. I was very loud. I'm very dramatic. I'm very like boisterous. And my family is not. They're very introverted. They're very book oriented. They're very sport oriented. And I had very tumultuous relationships with everybody in my family. Me and my mom, though, we just really, really did not get along. We would scream at each other, and I'd do something intentionally to hurt her. She'd say no to hurt me, that kind of thing. In middle school, I just had a really, really hard time. I was not white, and everybody in my community was white, and that was very hard for me. and I experienced a lot of racism. And after my grandma passed away in 7th grade, it just kind of all came crashing in on me. And I started dealing with self-harm and disordered eating and those sort of things. And a couple years after that, I was formally adopted by my parents. I never did it because I had told them I didn't want to be a part of their family. We ended up doing that. My freshman year of high school, the summer before, I ended up being raped. And I had sort of like, I had snuck out of the house. I'd put myself in this position, and so I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell anybody at all. And I actually thought I was pregnant from the whole thing. So it was very, very, very scary. And so the self-harm got worse. And then I started dealing with suicide attempts and things like that. And not only was I struggling, but like everybody in our community was struggling. A boy in my grade who I had talked to about how we were both struggling ended up committing suicide. An entire family died in a carbon monoxide incident. There was just so much tragedy, and I was kind of in this echo chamber of just like struggle. When I turned 16 and I ended up getting a speeding ticket because I was trying to commit suicide. So I was speeding down a road, and that's kind of when my parents found out how bad it actually was. And so we just kind of had this like shift in our relationship. And suddenly they were mom and dad, not Aunt Cheryl and Uncle Andy. And Sarah and Lydia were my sisters, not my cousins. But I ended up going to a career center my junior year and studying cosmetology. I didn't like it. I was much more interested in skipping school and doing what I wanted to do. And then I graduated high school early. When college came around, I went to Miami of Ohio. Just wasn't a good fit for me. The Farmer School of Business, though, I can say great things about it. Their program is excellent, but socially it just wasn't for me. And then at this point, something happened with my mom and I again, and we just stopped getting along again. After I transferred to Bowling Green, I was like, you guys treat me like I'm the adopted kid. I don't want to talk to you anymore. So I just kind of stopped talking to them. My sister went to OU and she joined the sorority and she loved it. She was like, maybe you should consider it at BG because, it's not as big as Miami. And my mom was in a sorority too. And she was like, you should just try it, see if you make some friends. I was dating somebody at the time and he was like, don't do, like, that's stupid. He was like, I think sorority girls are trashy and stupid. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, I guess I'm trashy and stupid because I'm joining a sorority.
Just the push you needed.
Right, because I was like, no, don't act like that. When I went through recruitment, there was another house that I was like, oh, I'm going to go here. This is like the one. And that was like what I had, I guess, worked through my whole like rush experience, like to join this one house. I didn't get them. I ended up joining Alpha Chi Omega, which is my sorority, where I met my lifelong friends. And our philanthropy is domestic violence and sexual assault awareness. So it's something that hit very close to home. My whole rush experience was very weird. I was really worried about being a person of color in a sorority. When you think sorority girl, I'm not very sorority girl. So I was really worried about those things.
You wanted to make sure you had a place where you felt comfortable and could be your authentic self.
Right. And Alpha Chi did that for me. You have something called a bid day buddy, and mine was this girl named Sophie. And I thought that she like absolutely hated me. I thought that she didn't want to be near me at all. I was like so scared of her. But I thought that she was just like the coolest person like ever. She had the septum piercing. She was just so cool and confident. And she ran philanthropy at the time, which is like really cool and very hard. She was just like so cool. And then she reached out to me and was like, do you want to go on a big little date? And I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, I do. And then we sat and we talked for hours. her boyfriend at the time was like sitting and waiting for her and was like, hello, where are you? And we just kept sitting and talking. And that was the first real connection that I made. Yeah, I made the right choice here.
Tell me about the friend group.
So actually now a lot has changed post-grad. We're kind of not a friend group anymore. However, we're like, even at my baby shower, we were there wasn't really a group. It was kind of like two separate groups. But at one point, it was the six of us, and we were a group. Everybody knew that we went everywhere together. Everybody knew if you tell one of them something, all of them are going to know. It actually caused like a lot of drama within our sorority. Oh, the six of them are being cliquey. The six of them are excluding everybody else. But they just knew me better than anybody had ever known me. They welcomed me with open arms in such a way that I had never experienced, especially with girls. I had never experienced something like that. It was just so fun to be with them. And it was like, so like if I needed anything, if anything happened, they're dropping everything and they're coming and they're there. And like, I don't know.
So you felt like you belonged.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
So what happened that it's two groups now, not one?
A couple of girls got into an argument, and then people just kind of started picking sides, and now they don't talk and they're not friends anymore. It's very...
But they still both came
Mhm.
for you.
Yes. I'm still friends with all of them. That whole thing really didn't have anything to do with me, so I stayed out of it. All of them came and they all supported me, and they all still show up for me now. I'm actually not close with one of them anymore, and even she reaches out sometimes to let me know she's thinking about me, like with Julius or with my mom, which is very, very nice.
Yeah, it is hard. Life changes and people go in different directions, and you have a child,
Mm-hmm.
and none of them do yet.
Yeah.
Right. And so it can be very different, but it's great that you guys are maintaining connection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's really hard because I'm really not good at texting back. And I find it really hard to respond to people, and I find it really daunting to do so. So it makes it really hard sometimes to keep those connections. But every time I see them or talk to them, even after this space of not talking, it's like no time has passed. I think the most important part is they still make me feel like I'm like my own person instead of just a mom. They ask how I'm doing, not just how is the baby doing. My first year at Bowling Green, I ended up being assaulted in the sorority house, which was like just another really big thing.
Yeah.
And obviously when something like that happens, the only person you want to talk to is your mom. So I just started talking to my mom again. And from there, it was like our relationship has just grown and blossomed so much, so extraordinarily.
How did your sisters in the sorority help you get through the assault?
I actually ended up calling Sophie. Sophie was one of the first persons that I talked to about it. She dropped absolutely everything and just came and picked me up and was there for me and sat with me. And there was just so many times that we would sit, and she's just so good at listening, and we would just sit in her car for hours, like 4 hours, and just talk and talk and talk. All of my friends were really good at just letting me talk, but it's really hard to sit in a group of 5 people staring at you and talking about something so vulnerable. So like sitting with Sophie and having those conversations is something that I really vividly remember helping me. And then honestly, we spent a lot of time going out and partying, drinking, and spending a lot of time together that way. When we talk about this time now, we always say it was the best time of our lives, but it was the absolute worst time of our lives. We were all drinking way too much. We were all going out way too much. We were all skipping class way too much. But we really, really leaned on each other, used that time to have fun and support each other. Maybe not in the best way, but we were all like trying to get our minds off of everything.
Sounds like your early 20s.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's definitely what it felt like.
Yeah.
The summer after my freshman year of college, I went to work at a summer camp, and that was like the most life-changing experience. I have a group of friends from the camp that I worked at who also very much like that, and they're very incredible. They're just like, they are also some of the greatest.
How did you end up at the camp? It's a church camp,
Mhm,
right?
mhm. When I was a kid, I used to go to this camp called Camp Moana. It's a Lutheran camp. It's a sister camp of the camp that I worked at, but it closed. But when I was a kid, I was like, oh, I'm going to work there someday. And then randomly, I was like, this is it. I think it was kind of because I was going through this breakup. I had just been assaulted. I had just had so much happening. I was like, I need something. I need to go somewhere and I need to do something. I was like, I'm going to go work at camp. And I found out that my camp that I had gone to was closed, but this was the next best thing. So I just signed up and started working there.
And what did working there look like?
We worked basically 24/7
Oh, wow.
for the whole summer. We would have one day off because legally you had to have a 24-hour period off, but you know, we would still be doing things. Campers would come around noon on Sunday and then they'd leave around noon on Friday. You would set up activities to do in nature, set up Bible study things, do arts and crafts. We did archery. We did a rock climbing wall. We had boating. We worked in the kitchen. If you weren't a counselor that week, because it is kind of a small camp, so not everybody would be a counselor, you would work in the kitchen or you'd work setting up activities for other people or running water games or whatever. We had some international staff, which was a really cool experience to meet people from different cultures and see how they like. It was just so funny when they would come and they'd be like, so this is America. I thought that we would be in a giant party, like a giant college party. I thought that that's what America was. And I'm like, no, this is it. Well, this is Ohio. We spent so much time together. We spent so much time together. So even if the kids would go to sleep and then we'd have porch talks at night, we would all come and we'd sit on a porch and we'd make the Bible study for the next day. But then we'd sit and talk and play cards. If it was our night off, we'd all go out and sleep in the woods together. They were just the best, most non-judgmental group I had ever met. And that was just something I had literally never experienced. Like, I'm climbing the rock wall and they're like, you can absolutely do it. Like, they're cheering me up. They're just very excited for me. And then if I'm like, no, I really can't do it, they're like, that's okay. Then come down. There was no like quick remark. There was no making fun. There was no negativity at all. It was just, that's okay. You did your best and you can do hard things and you can try again. You can try it again some other time and see if you can do it. There's just something really special about connecting with a group of people who you're literally never on your phone around, because you're just so conditioned to be on your phone around everybody that you meet. But here, you can't really be on your phone. You're with a bunch of kids. You're outside. You're connecting with God and nature. Like, how cool is that?
Very cool. Did you camp before then on a regular basis?
No, which, like, it's so weird because even when I was a kid, I was terrified of spiders. Outdoors is icky, gross. I'm always wearing a dress. I'm always clean. I'm very girly girl. We never really went camping. But for the 1 week that I went to summer camp, I would be like I had a camp counselor that showed us if you take a daddy long leg and you shake it in your hand and you put it on your tongue, it'll pee on your tongue and it tastes like peppermint. And it does.
I'm going to take your word on it.
Yeah. I don't know where that came from, but it was like always the week that I went to summer camp. And then I just decided to work at camp. And actually, it's my friend Ella who really showed me the outdoors. Her, our friend Ben, and our friend Kaden. I went on my first like big camping trip with them in Kentucky and North Carolina. They are very outdoorsy people, very like Ella spent the entire summer in Colorado camping out of her car and working, cutting down trees in backcountry. They're very cool people. They're very outdoorsy people, and they showed me everything that I do now.
You went camping solo when you were pregnant with Julius. Tell us about that trip.
I decided to go to Michigan because I wanted to go to those Sleeping Bear Dunes. I needed to go do something. I went on this hike, and I'm 6 miles into the hike, and then the last mile of the trail is closed. So I had to turn around and I had to walk back. Horrible, horrible. I drove home that day. I was like, I'm not doing any more. But before that, it was really, really fun. It was really cool. And it really like showed me how much I'm capable of. And I guess even at the time, I didn't really think about it. But a month later, I was, wow, like I'm really pregnant and I did that.
Yeah.
Like I like went and I hiked it, and it was just really cool. It was very cool. It was very fun. I got my little camping stove and I went and I sat by water and I cooked spaghetti. I ended up sleeping in my car because it ended up getting so cold and rainy at night, so I couldn't sleep in my hammock. But it was really fun.
You met Josh online?
Yeah.
What was your first date?
Actually, I came home from a weekend of seeing Ella and Kaden in Cincinnati, and I just felt really good. I don't know why. I just felt really confident and like I should go do this. I don't know. I have never been so confident in my life. Like I have never reached out. My first message to him was, I think you're my soulmate. I don't know. And I've never, ever been like that. I was like going on dates with other people when I first went on a date with him. And I canceled all of them. I stopped talking to everybody. I deleted Hinge. I was like,
this is it.
I don't know why. I have no clue why. But I came home from this weekend with Ella and Kate, and I just felt really good. And I felt like, hey, you want to hang out? And I texted him, and we had plans to go and get pizza like the next day. But he was like, yeah, sure. I'm working on my car, but sure. And so we just met at do you know the Jerome Hill next to BG?
Yes.
We met there and we watched the stars for a little bit. I didn't tell anybody that I was going on this. I just left my house and I walked to the hill and met up with this stranger. And we sat and we talked for a while, and then it got a little chilly. So we went and I got into his car. Into a stranger's car, and we went back to my house and we watched a movie, and then he went home.
He must have made you feel really safe.
Mm-hmm. I don't, seriously, I've literally never done something like that, and I don't know why, but he was just so nice and so inquisitive in a way that nobody else had ever been. He just wanted to talk and hang out, and that was just really nice. That was just really, I don't know. He was just yeah.
So great.
And it feels really weird to think about how we got from point A to point B. How am I here? How am I sitting in this room a year and a half ago? I didn't even know.
I know. And now I have oh gosh, it's so crazy. It's amazing. You continue to meet people, and then they bring more people into your life, and it takes on a whole trajectory of its own.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and you connect everybody. Yeah, absolutely everybody. That's what everybody says in your podcast.
I think it's fun. I feel so lucky. I have so many cool people in my life, and then they keep bringing in more people. What's it like being a mom at this stage in your life?
It's really interesting. It's really fun. It's really lonely. It's very confusing because, how do you take care of a baby? I'm a baby. And all of my friends are figuring out what next state they're going to move to. And I'm figuring out when's my kid going to be enrolled in preschool. And that's very weird and very lonely. But it's the coolest thing in the world. Absolutely the coolest thing in the world. And I don't know how to explain it any other way.
You light up when you're with him. It's so beautiful to see. He has just brought so much light into your family. What has it been like to watch him connect generations and relationships?
I feel like he didn't necessarily connect me and my family. We have been so close for so long. And even when we weren't getting along, we were always staying connected. But I think it helped connect like my grandparents and bring them back into being around us and wanting to spend more time with us, which is really nice. And it's brought them in a way that's helping them remember their youth more because they're getting older and they're forgetting all of those things. And so it's really nice to see them like light up when they see a baby, because everybody lights up when they see a baby.
Especially Julius. He's very special. I'm very partial.
He's the most handsome baby.
He is, and a genius. You seem to have such a strong sense of trust in yourself as a mom. Where do you think that confidence comes from?
I don't really feel like I have such a trust in myself. I feel like I have the privilege of being able to be a stay-at-home mom who can follow his schedule. So if he needs to go to sleep, he lets me know. If he needs to eat, he lets me know. If he wants to play, he lets me know. So it's just me trusting in him more than trusting in me. And he's just like, he's just a really good leader. He knows how to show me where to go.
That is so beautiful. And that is still a trust that your child knows and you're listening and you're paying attention. This has been a very busy season for you and Josh. He's been finishing up his apprenticeship program and working full time.
Mm-hmm.
What have you learned about each other as partners, and how do you show up for each other?
It's crazy, right? Because like I got pregnant 3 months into knowing him. And when I found out I was pregnant, the first person I called was Josh. The second person I called was my mom because I had to let her know. Then a couple months later, moved in to his house with his parents. And a couple months later, we bought our own home. So I feel like I'm learning so many things all the time. And I think that's the biggest way that we show up for each other. The most meaningful way that he shows up for me is willing to learn and willing to stick around through the chaos of it all. Because like we're new parents and we're in a new relationship and we're living together. That's a lot all at once. But things that I've learned about him, I think I've learned that like he needs a lot more sleep than I do.
Okay.
I think I've learned that I can't expect everybody to do what I do all the time. And I think that the biggest way that he shows up for us is allowing me to be a stay-at-home mom. It's such an incredible privilege to be able to be a stay-at-home mom and be able to watch him grow.
It is such a gift that so few people get, but you guys are also making choices to make sure that that can happen, right? It's not magical.
Yeah.
There's sacrifice.
Yeah, definitely.
And I love seeing how intentional you both are with your relationship and how well you communicate. It is hard. There's lots of ups and downs as individuals and as a couple. You guys have just grown together. You're so good for each other. You bring out the best in each other. It's been really special to see.
Thank you.
I have seen firsthand how you invite people into your life and into Julius's life.
I think that for me personally, you can't pour from an empty cup. So I have to ask for help, even if it is uncomfortable. And people around me want to help, I think is also the thing. Like everybody wants to see the new baby, but people also want to help me and people want to make sure that I'm doing okay and that I'm able to continue taking care of him. So I think it's important to just keep asking for help. I see a lot of young moms, not even young moms, like just a lot of moms. Like I can't put the baby down for 2 seconds while I'm doing the dishes. So they get one of those like hip carry things to carry them while they're doing the dishes. Just put the baby down for 2 minutes and do the dishes. It's really okay. Like, it's really okay if that saves your sanity for a moment. And I think a lot of people forget that. They think that, like, the baby's needs comes before anything ever.
There are lots of moments the baby absolutely comes first,
Mm-hmm.
as it should be.
Mm-hmm.
But there has to be moments where you take care of your needs
Right.
and are able to fill your cup, just like you said.
I guess what I see is I think about it like I see a lot of women online saying, I only take a shower once every 5 days. I take a shower every single day and I make sure I get that shower. So I get at least 20 minutes where I'm not holding him. Even if he is a little bit upset, he can sit and be a little bit upset for 20 minutes while I get a good shower in. And it makes me a better mom for him, which I think is really important. And then I think that goes into, again, asking people for help. It makes me a better mom. I think a really big way that Josh shows up for me is telling me that I should go and do things and supporting me to go away for a weekend, even if he's worked 700 hours the past week.
I agree. How old was Julius when you went for a girls' weekend?
3 weeks old,
Yes.
something like that. And I was still breastfeeding.
I was so impressed with both of you. That is such a great example of how you're still a person. You still have things that you want to do. That was a special girls' weekend, and Josh really encouraged you. And I'm sure it was scary for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, and it's not even that it's just that it's like scary for him. It's like he's just worked so many hours. He goes to school and then he studies and then he also like takes care of things around the house for me. And then he's driving everywhere. Like, it's just a lot.
It is a lot. And by scary, I mean, like, I'm exhausted. Can I actually do this?
Yeah.
Right? Am I up for this physically, mentally, emotionally?
Mm-hmm.
Because a newborn is a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah.
Tell us about your mom.
She is just like, when I think of her, she is a therapist. She is your friend. She gives you all of the advice and all of the love and all of the care. And she gives you the tough love and the things that you might not necessarily want to hear, but you need to hear. She's funny. She's really funny. She doesn't think that she's funny. She's really funny. She's very, very, very clumsy. She loves the outdoors. She loves going on walks. She loves spending time with Julius. I wish she was healthier so that she could spend more time with him, because she is just so good at being a grandma. Like, she's a grandma and she's a mom. Yeah. That is who she is. One of my all-time favorite qualities of hers, her big laugh. She has this big laugh that she, like, I don't know, she realizes she's doing it, but when she's really laughing, it's like from her soul laugh. It's such a good laugh. I just think that she has shown me so much and she has helped me grow in so many ways. And like, I don't know. I don't know. She's helped me grow so much and helped me see so much. And she cared for me in a time when I really thought that I was an adult and I thought I could do everything at, the ripe age of 7, because I had been told my entire life, you can do whatever you want. You can go wherever you want. Nobody was really looking after me. And then I came into my mom's life and she gave me the structure and the care that a parent is supposed to give you. And I think it made me really, really angry when I was a kid. But now I look at it and I just see how much care and love she had to pour into me, especially when she was grieving too. I think it just makes me a better mom because of what she's done for me.
When your family received the diagnosis, what was that moment like for you?
It was a couple weeks after I had given birth. She found this lump. And I always have a feeling of like if something bad is going to happen. Like, before my grandma passed away, I was like, something really, really bad is going to happen. I just feel it. And then my grandma passed away. Same thing happened when my great-grandma passed away. The same thing happened when my great-grandpa passed away. I just get these feelings. And she told us about the lump. And I was like, no, it's fine. It's nothing. She has a lot of autoimmune things. So I was like, it's just a swollen lymph node. Like, it's no big deal. And one day she texted me and she said, I'm going to come up and see Julius. And I was like, absolutely, like for sure. And they told me that the lump was cancerous. And I was like, you're wrong. Like, you're literally wrong. Like, there's no way. Because it's like, my mom is the healthiest person in the world. She barely drinks. And when she does drink, she has one drink and she's done. She walks at least 4 miles a day. She eats really, really clean. She's never smoked. So it was just so hard to believe that this was happening to her. And it was like really angering. Like, are you serious? I just had a baby and now she has stage 4 cancer. Like, that's ridiculous. That's so stupid. That's like, I think what we were all feeling at the time.
Absolutely. How has it shifted your perspective on time, family, and what really matters?
I don't know. I don't know if it necessarily changed my perspective on it because I've dealt with this before in a much different way. Like, obviously, when you're 7 years old, you're not grieving the same as if you're 22. Like, you're not grieving a situation the same way. But I knew that time was limited, and I've always known it. And so I've always tried to just do and do and do and do, because you only live once and you have to make the most of it.
What has it looked like to support her while also caring for your baby?
You know, it's funny because I feel like I'm not. I feel like because she is very like, you have the hardest job in the world. I don't want to put anything on you. So she really doesn't. I mean, like, me supporting her is bringing Julius up, or her coming up and seeing Julius for a day, or sending her a picture of him, or having a phone call. But we would do that before anyway. Right. So it doesn't really feel like I'm supporting her so much as she's supporting me and trying to be there for me and for Julius during this whole thing.
Which is just another testament to the kind of mom she is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
You and your sister are participating in this Susan G. Komen 3-day walk. What inspired you to say yes to that kind of challenge?
So we were looking at the website for the Susan G. Komen walks in May because it's breast cancer month. And we just saw a little link at the top for the 3-day. I clicked on it. I looked at it all. And my mom was like, oh, you should do that. And I was like, okay. So I just signed up and I'm just doing it. I think it's a great way to honor her. And I think it's a great way to raise money. And I can walk. I've got nothing but time to walk. So it sounds like a perfect opportunity to honor her.
60 miles is no small commitment, though. What does that walk represent to you personally?
I understand that it's no small commitment, but my mom is going chemo all the time. She's always feeling sick. She's losing all her hair. She's closing her practice. It doesn't really feel like I'm doing something so major in comparison to what she's doing. And I'm very excited to take on the challenge.
I think it's very inspiring. And I'm hoping that I get to go on a few long walks with you this summer as you prepare.
Absolutely.
What do you hope people understand about breast cancer through your experience?
Nothing. Nothing. I hope that nobody ever has to learn about this at all. In the breast cancer world, there is a thing called the pink bubble. That's their group. And it's the most supportive people in the entire world. But their entire thing is we didn't ever want to have to know you. And we're so sorry that we have to know you. And that's really what it feels like. I don't want anybody to ever know.
You carry yourself with so much calm and grounded energy. How do you stay anchored during such an emotional season?
I don't feel very calm and grounded. I feel like I have a lot of moments, but I feel like as I've gotten older, I've just gotten better at being like, this kind of sucks right now and it's just the way it is. I can't keep freaking out about it. I mean, there's a million other things going on. I can't sit and wallow in anything negative when I can be sitting with my son and hearing him giggle.
I've always been impressed about how you let the heavy thing be heavy. When I'm saying, how are you doing? You're like, it's really hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you're like, it's fine, but you're also able to have some immediate perspective on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's pretty unique, particularly at your age, particularly everything you've been through. So I'm just so curious of where that comes from and how do you channel it?
I don't know. It's something that's developed over the past couple of years. If you would have known me, I don't know, even 5 years ago, I was like the kid sitting in the hall crying all the time. I was just a wreck. I was the dramatic one. I was the like really, really emotional one. And I'm not sure where it came from. I just suddenly got this like, things are bad and it just is the way it is.
Yeah, I will challenge you a little bit
Mm-hmm.
to reframe your emotional one to dysregulate it.
Mm-hmm.
You had a lot of things, really hard, heavy things happen to you. And it makes total sense that you are very dysregulated.
Yeah.
So I would not label that as dramatic.
Yeah. 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 And I think that's where a lot of the discourse came when I was a kid. My dad was very like, you're dramatic, like you're a lot. I look back on that now and I think everybody was just having such a hard time. It was just such a hard time.
It's so hard. He lost a sister.
Mm-hmm. When he lost his sister and his mom, who were like those were who he lived with his whole life. I have a lot of empathy now, but at the time I definitely did not.
Nor should you have had it. I mean, you were 7.
Right.
What are you finding moments of joy in right now?
My son's laugh and date nights and the weather being nice. My Wednesday evenings off. Julius's grandparents watch him that day, so that's really awesome. The Susan G. Komen stuff has really brought me a lot of joy, and seeing how much people are rallying around us and people we don't even really know. Like, how cool is that? Or people that like I was friends with when I was in 3rd grade. Like, it's really, really cool, and it's really special. And I find a lot of joy and love in it.
Yeah. When hard things hit, you do feel the love.
Mm-hmm.
And there is some comfort in that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Sure.
In the next year, what are your hopes and dreams for you and Josh and Julius?
Well, I'd like to have another baby.
That's exciting.
Everybody told us, be careful. You're going to have another one really, really close together. Like, it just happens. And we were like, no, that's not going to happen. But now, like, we want to have 2 kids, and I need them to be in diapers at the same time, and I need them to be out of them at the same time. I can't imagine restarting diapers. I can't imagine doing it. So I think another baby.
That is so exciting. I was not expecting that answer.
I know, right? Hopefully engaged.
Oh, that's exciting too.
Yeah, hopefully. Josh, if you're listening.
She back to listen.
Right. Hopefully. Yeah. Yeah, you better be. Yesterday, I randomly decided I'm going to start gardening. I want our house to look nice. So doing home things like that. I want the flowers on the outside. There's this like rubber mulch stuff all around. And I want regular mulch. So I'm replacing, doing the whole thing. It's so crazy because I'm on the phone with my mom and she's like, you want to garden? I'm like, yeah. She's like, I used to beg you. She would try and do it as like a chore. Like, I'll pay you to come out and help me garden. And I refused. I hated it. I hated it so much. And I was like, I never, ever want to have a garden. But I just want our house to look nice. I want Julius to have a nice place to grow up in. I think that's what I really would like to do in the next year is just make a nice place Julius to grow up in and spend time with Josh not in school.
Oh, that's so exciting.
It's crazy because I've planned all my weeks in my head. Like Mondays, Josh isn't going to be home. Tuesdays, Josh isn't going to be home. Wednesdays, Josh isn't going to be home. But now he's home and he's just home. We get to go to Arizona in July with Alyssa, which will be really, really fun. So spending time with family.
How's your training going for the walk?
It got cold and got rainy there for a little bit. So then it stopped for a minute. I need to just get out of the house and do it. It's been very hard to get in the car with Julius and go somewhere and walk. But now that it's been nicer, that's what my plan is.
And how's your mom doing?
Good. She's doing really good. She's officially retired. Her and my dad are planning on traveling in national parks and spending time with Julius. That's like what she really wants to do. So we've been planning a lot of trips for her to come up, planning for me to go down, those kind of things. It's so crazy to see your parents become grandparents. The weirdest thing ever. But it's so cool. It's so cool.
It's very special.
Katy, I cannot thank you enough for coming today and talking to me about all of these topics. I think your journey is a very complicated one with lots of ups and downs. I think so many people are going to be able to see pieces of their own struggles in yours. Thank you so much for your vulnerability and your authenticity. You are a bright light, and it impresses me so much that you are able to be that bright light, considering everything that you've had to deal with in your very short life. I know you feel very old and grown up, but you are not. You are still definitely a kid.
The older I get, the younger I feel, which is so weird because what's that? It's a Taylor Swift song. How can you feel like you know everything at 18 and nothing at 22? It's really, really true. I feel like I know nothing now. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for having me. I really, really appreciate it.
Absolutely. There are some people who remind us what it looks like to live with intention, even when life feels uncertain. Katy's one of those people. Her story is not just about hardship. It's about love that adapts, families that reform and expand, and the kind of presence that allows joy to exist alongside grief. What stands out to me most is the way she honors where she has come from while fully stepping into where she is. As a mother, as a daughter, as someone choosing action in the face of something she cannot control. The Susan G. Komen 3-day walk is more than just miles walked. It's a declaration. It is love in motion. It is a family saying, we are here and we're not giving up. If this conversation moved you, if you felt the heart behind her story, I encourage you to support Katy and her sister in any way you can, whether this is through a donation, sharing their story, or simply holding their family in your thoughts. Katy, thank you so much for sharing your heart and letting us into your story, and for reminding us what it looks like to show up with grace, strength, and so much love.
Thank you so much.
As you move through your day or week, you might want to ask yourself a few questions. Who are the people in my life that feel like home, and how can I show them that they matter to me? Where in my life am I being invited to lean in on others instead of doing it all on my own? What does village look like for me right now? Am I allowing myself to receive that support? How do I respond when life feels uncertain or out of control? Who in my life might be quietly carrying something heavy, and how can I show up for them? What is one small, meaningful action I can take to support a cause or family walking through something hard? In the middle of everything, where am I still able to find moments of joy? Before we close, I want to take a moment to acknowledge that this conversation touched on some difficult experiences. If you are listening and something has resonated in a personal way, support is available. For anyone impacted by sexual violence, you can reach out to RAINN, RAINN. They offer a confidential 24/7 hotline and online chat at 1-800-656-HOPE. If you are struggling with thoughts of self-harm or suicide, you can contact the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline by calling or texting 988. They are available anytime. You don't have to carry things like this on your own. If this episode brought something up for you, consider reaching out to someone you trust, a friend, a therapist, or one of these resources.